should be back up now. So a little bit of a disconnect. Not sure what happened then. Hopefully things are back to normal.
Yeah, looks like you're back.
Obviously I have to have a look after this. So apologies, yeah, just missed out on a little bit there. Sam Baird now under attack from George Ward. Everything seems to have opened up a little bit after these pit stops. As Charlie O'Kane, in all of that technical issues, has lost out to Karsten Havdal.
I think that's on pit stop.
Karsten Havdal has pitted.
But he pitted under safety car, and I don't believe Charlie did.
Somehow Charlie managing to say to share the live whilst racing. Appreciate that.
Van Baird gets it all wrong going wide, and George Ward looking for a move. He gets up the inside, but then he gets a bit of a poor run down into the final chicane. Is he going to send a bit of a dive bomb, or is he going to back out? Ah, he's back. Oh, half back. Yeah, he backed.
I think very heavy on the brakes there from George. I think he slows down the car way too much.
I think Sam is starting to get that hop over the sausage curves. Kind of, he's got pretty confident at that now, and he's gaining a lot of time there.
Yeah, I think Charlie O'Kane's definitely been a sight over these past couple of weeks of racing. We've seen him have a number of incidents at Alton Park, which cost him in the long run. But definitely been improving over the last couple of weeks. And reclaims that P1 spot now as Karsten Havdal into the pit lane.
So with that pit stop and the safety car, this will be probably quite a short pit stop. Yeah, only 7.4 seconds stopped. So I think that's going to give him the advantage. But no, Ethan Turner does come out ahead.
Turner with the Toto Wolf livery on that Gr86.
Mikey, this is so not right.
So yeah, I think Gr86 is...
Throw a safety car. Be Michael Massey right now.
Definitely think Gr86s have definitely made for some much more entertaining racing, especially at these shorter circuits. What sort of track would you like to see Gr86s running in possible future events, Jacob?
I mean, Sebring bumps in this suspension is going to be interesting. Daytona would also be fun, but you know, these have also been run fairly recently for you. A lot of bump drafting and slipstreaming at Daytona and Gr86s, that would be a load of fun.
That'll definitely be one to watch out with Ethan Turner. Fortunately, put himself out the race at Daytona in the GT3s, having a big crash coming through the bus stop chicane. That was Ethan Turner getting loose there through McLean's. Very much reactive driving. Charlie Kane, 11-second lead over Nico Balderano.
Yeah, well, everyone was just fighting, and he pulled away from that pack while they were fighting, and just went hot lapping, built that gap out, didn't have anyone to deal with, and that's just put him in a really strong position in this race. All that could go wrong for him now is someone to absolutely smash it into a wall and get a safety car, but I think with 10 minutes left, we're probably getting to the end of that window where you could even throw a safety car, so...
So yeah, I think it was a good decision to increase the incident point limit. As we're currently watching Harry Nottage, driver with the most incident points at the moment, 23 on the chart. So yeah, just while everything has quietened down a little bit, it'd be really good to kind of have a quick look just back at the beginning of the race. Just to see if we can identify maybe what happened to George Ward. That was a little too early. Let's have a look at this. So yeah, this is going back to the start of the race. All drivers were lined up. The lights go green. Nobody seems to get away incredibly, but George Ward just not even moving off the line there. Definitely got caught out by the green light. It's all the way back into last place. But yeah, I think we had some really good scraps early on.
I mean, at one point they were going 4 wide down the Gr86.
Yeah, I'd love to watch that back.
The fact that that didn't end in a multi-car pile-up is pretty good, to be fair.
Seven minutes to go. Sam Baird chasing down George Ward for P5. No, Sam Baird is quick. Getting caught out by a lot of incidents and fighting during today's race. Yeah, I think you're definitely right in terms of Sebring would be a really good race for the GRs. I also think somewhere like Miami would also be an interesting one. 2 really long straights for drivers to sort of slip and draft. A couple of technical sections. Gr86 as well with the weight transfer through Sector 1 at Miami would be fantastic to see. 2 is Harry Nottage with a black flag.
How's he manage that?
It's a good question. Let's have a look, see what happened to him. So that was, sorry, that was early on at the beginning of the race. Let me see if I can just pull up the incident. So, Harry Nottage not having the best of races today. Comes into the S's, heavy on the brakes, looking clean. but just rear end just gets away from him. Luckily, not too far from the pit entrance, and I'll just expect maybe him just diving straight in for that pass repair.
So
Tyre
I think
front
it's
end of the
safe
car
to say
hanging
that,
off.
that's not how you do that chicane.
But he is back out and racing. Sam Baird closing the gap, running really wide through Coppice. Closing the gap though now on George Ward. 5.5 minutes to go in this session. As we see Ethan setting the fastest time now with the lower fuel load at 1:15.8.
Sam really gains time on George through that final chicane. That's where Sam is the strongest at the moment. He's just willing to absolutely launch those sausage curves.
We've definitely seen Sam Baird getting his elbows out, getting quite feisty with the overtakes, trying to make the moves. See how George responds to that. Is he just looking to get to the end of this race, secure that P5 position?
Mate, we're in Gr86s. Time to fight.
Sam Baird to the inside.
Backs out of it,
Unable
Sam
to
then
make
goes
that
deep.
stick. And I think that's the case with these GRs as well. Like with the GT3s, that wider line tends to be fairly quick. You don't lose too much time there, but in the GRs, potentially a different story. George looking very comfortable through the Fog TS's. Sam Baird though getting the better exit, coming down into Redgate. Not quite close enough to make anything stick. See if he has another go as we come around the top section of the track. A lot of drivers now going quicker. Nico Barbarama setting his fastest time, the 1:15.9. He's closing the gap on Charlie O'Kane. Less than 3 minutes to go. I'm not sure that's going to be enough to do anything with it, but if anything's going to happen on track, it's going to be between these two, George Ward and Sam Baird, fighting for P5.
It looks like Sam is pushing a lot harder than George, and I think it's where you're kind of seeing a bit of an ebb and flow. Like when Sam gets it right, he is faster, but you also end up seeing more mistakes, I think, from Sam, and that's when he ends up dropping back. He looks like he's starting to catch again.
George Ward looking,
Let's see whether he can make it.
looking cautious through the hairpin, not using all of the track, and that is going to allow Sam Baird to potentially get a run. Sam Baird does get an off track. Ethan Turner also with another off track, and that would be a time penalty for Ethan Turner for track limits. As Sam Baird looking to the inside through Redgate, George Ward holding on round the outside. Manages to hold on to that position as they come through the top of Hollywood, down through the Craner curves. So Baird not quite close enough to make anything stick through the old hairpin.
It's what Sam needs to do right now. He needs to actually start getting George to go on the defensive. George is actually playing this pretty safe, well, pretty well at the moment. Like, he's not defending clean air. He's driving his race, and that seems to be working for him. Sam does make it through there. George in a bit of a poor exit as we have power off track.
It's Harry Nottage just rejoining the track there. George Ward potentially looking to fight this one back. Late on the brakes, again brakes too early, but does look to get the better exit.
That was definitely a send as the white flag comes out for the final lap. I think Sam was 4 wheels off the ground there over that sausage curve.
Charlie O'Kane though with an absolutely mega race today. 7 seconds up on Nico Valderrama. Comes through the Fogarty S's for the final time. And across the start finish line. Finishes race in P1. Nico Valderrama again, mega job from Nico as we see a massive incident with Ethan Turner through the S's at the back there. We'll have to have a look at what happened.
As George has also just spun out.
Ethan Turner with a huge amount of damage, trying to limp this car across the line, loses out to Karsten Havdal. Another mega crash at the end. We're going to have a review of some of these incidents at the back of the field here. So we had Harry Nottage. Just trying to have a look what happened to Harry. Okay, was that a... That wasn't a George Ward. I'm trying to figure out who's the incident between Harry and...
What has George done here? George has just intent wrecked him.
And that is a DQ for George.
What on earth has happened here?
So yeah, George has crashed into, so that's a DQ from George. Just having a look what happened to Ethan Turner.
Race control review. George, what are you doing?
Ethan just loses it on his own through the S's. Has to limp the car across the line, loses out so much. I think we have Gary Kingaby probably just losing this on his own again by the looks of it.
Yeah, wheel out on the graph.
Yeah, a lot going on. In this race.
I am very confused in what George was thinking there. He said in chat that he wasn't meaning to hit him. He would... I don't know.
I mean... we can review that one more time. I mean, there's a case of not meaning to hit someone, but there's no way you get this completely wrong.
I think so. He had a spin, So he drove into the back of Sambed and spun himself on the last lap. I'm assuming in frustration he decided, well, I'm just going to cut the chicane. For some reason, he sends it over the grass, absolutely launches it into Harry. I believe actually taking a wheel off Harry. And
Yeah, that definitely not the ideal way to finish a race. Very disappointing there from George as well.
yeah, I haven't seen
That
things
is
like that for a while.
DQ from George.
Straight DQ. I would even
Straight
argue
DQ.
that's a grid penalty for the next race.
But yeah, I think that does conclude Donington Park National Circuit. What we will have a quick look at before we end today's stream is the final results from today's race. So Charlie O'Kane wins today's race after starting P2 on the grid. Nico Balderrama started P4, made his way up to P2 to finish in second. Karstien Havdal finishes in P3, which rounds off our podium position today. Ethan Turner comes home and finishes in 4th place. Sam Baird in P5. George Ward in P6 with that inevitable DQ as well at the end, which will be amended to the race results at the end when these go live. Ken Backen in P7, Harry Nottage in P8, Gary Kingerby P9 and Lewis Glendinning in P10.
Are we thinking maybe drag Ethan in here? Let's see what happened from his perspective on that final lap.
Yeah, that does sound like a good idea. Is he in
and if you really want to, drag George in and ask
we're
what he
gonna
was
have
thinking.
we're gonna have a chat with George before we have a chat with Ethan.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
I have a burning question for George. How are we doing, George? I have a big question for you.
Oh, he's on mute at the moment.
He can be on mute. He can still hear me. I have a big question for you, George. What was you thinking? And what was you hoping to achieve?
I don't know if he's there.
He's definitely here.
You think he's here?
1 minute. Say that again. Sorry, I was ending my stream. What's the matter?
I was going to say, so stream is still up on my side. I'd like to get your thoughts on something. What was you thinking? And why was you thinking it?
My last move antics was because I lost it as I was chasing Sam down. And then I thought I could make the corner without contact, but I didn't actually realise there was a dip on the grass, which spun me airborne, which then meant I made the contact.
So you decided to cut the entire Fog TS's chicane.
Corner, correct, and then cross the line. But it didn't pan out that way.
It definitely didn't pan out that way, and it cost you massively. I mean, we watched you start. How a terrible start, starting at the back of the grid.
Well, I would
manage to work your way up into P2.
Yes, that's correct. Then was taken out.
Then was fighting for P5, and then get DQ'd on the last corner.
That is correct. It's a standard ratio from me. I'll be honest with you. I do enjoy a DQ in these sessions. It isn't great, but it does seem to happen. And I reached the final 17 incident points as well. Well, I actually think I was on 18 by that point.
I'm not sure I have any words for you, George.
Yeah, I'm kind of sat here. I'm lost for words.
Well, you're both welcome, first and foremost. It's not often I can actually quiet and you both down. I didn't realise that was all it took.
So one
So,
thing I will say,
I-
let's try keep it clean for the next race. Yeah, it's if you hadn't taken anybody out, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But you did completely destroy the rear end of someone's car.
No, yeah, no, I know. Didn't apologise to him.
That's cool. That's cool. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm just gonna have a quick chat with
Thank you, boys.
Ethan.
Oh. Hello.
How are we doing, Ethan?
Distraught, mate. Absolutely distraught.
So I think again, just the question that both me and Jacob were a bit speechless over. I suppose the easiest way to say this is, how have you had a last corner incident again?
It seems to be a trend with me. I was just pushing so hard to try and catch Nico. And then I got a 10-second penalty, and then on top of that, I didn't even realise it was a white flag lap. I was just pushing that hard, and it wasn't until I hit the final corner I was like, oh, and I just lost it, bounced over the curb and put it in a wall.
Just watching this replay again.
I mean, that's one way to end the race, but to be honest,
Not the best
you
way.
might be surprised to hear that's not the worst way that we saw someone ending that race.
Shock horror.
As
Bad as that.
worse. Like disqualification worthy. But yeah, with George Ward doing, well, apparently it wasn't intentional, but he decided that he didn't want to do the last chicane and floored it through the grass, got air, and then absolutely launched it into the back of another car, and he was very quickly disqualified. But yeah, the racing through before that final pit cycle, where things did tend to, they kind of quieted down.
Yeah.
But at one point, I think I saw you guys going 4 wide down in the Gr86s, and I have no idea how you all made it through that.
Mate, I don't even know either. To be fair, that was actually before me. I had a great view of it. It was amazing. It really allowed me to catch up.
Yeah,
then
it very
I
much
got
brought you
involved.
right into the race.
Yeah, I got involved, and I was trying to cut through as much as you can, but that front end damage was absolutely killing me on the right turns.
Didn't even know you had damage.
I think that might have been where you had that slight tap rear end collision with George in
No, it was
Redgate,
from
right?
Nico.
Oh, right, okay.
From the chicane.
Yeah. I don't know how, but I did a damage check and I got front end, which was a shame, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was very difficult. I feel like the move was definitely on for Nico, but he just hit the that inside curb in a bit too weirdly, and I did give him a bit of a squeeze going in, but I don't know. I think it was just a coming together. It was a shame. I am sorry, Jacob, for asking for the investigation. It's just I had heard nothing. I was like, is that an investigation? So
yeah, when there's only sort of 12 cars left in a race, it's a lot easier to sort of keep an eye on what's going on. We have a new flagging system as well, so I can see when incidents occur. One of those being your tremendous amount of track limits that you were getting down at the bottom of the old hairpin, which wanted a 10-second time penalty.
I was going to try to argue a case for it, but no, it doesn't even matter at this point.
You know what happens when you argue with the stewards in these races? Straight in the pit.
Yeah. No, it was great racing. I had a really good start. I was running away with it for the first 2 laps, and then I just faded off the pace a little bit and brought it back at the end. But no, I just found myself struggling to turn right.
Maybe a bit of NASCAR. Oh, that's what you're looking to do then.
Yeah, it might just help. But no, I feel like the race overall was great. I had as good as a recovery drive as you can before the last turn. I don't know. I felt in those last few laps, I felt like I really had the pace, and yeah, I ended up posting a 15.6. Everything was just going really well, and it was just the man. If only I was up front. If only I was in the lead. But it's always if buts and maybes.
Yeah, I think with the slipstream and everything, even when you got to the lead of that pack, you just couldn't shake Sam and Karstein.
Yeah, no, I was really driving in my mirrors. I think also driving a little bit angry, not majorly, but just the I'm not supposed to be here kind of mentality took over. It's just not the best way to drive. I recognize it after now.
I mean, you avoided my penalty hammer, so
Yeah, yeah.
maybe not Connor's track limits hammer though.
I mean,
What can I say?
I saw it personally 3 times. I gave the warning, and then I looked down at my race log and seen over the
Yeah.
last 3 or 4 minutes he had another 3 off tracks.
Mate,
I
was
didn't even need to review
pushing
them.
for my life. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, I actually have a chance of catching Nico here, and to be fair to Nico again, he was on it. I was catching him. I had the gap at maybe 8 seconds when I came out of the pits, and I got it down to about 6 seconds, and he was really starting to push and match my lap times. There was times where there was about a tenth in between us. So yeah, it was just pushing that extra bit harder. That got me.
Yeah, it was
Well-
definitely an interesting race, a lot of action. I'm not sure if you can see Connor's camera, see
Yeah.
some of the. You can see that unfortunate moment where you went spinning.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
God.
not sure whether Connor. Actually, Connor, I think we need to get a judgment from Ethan here. Are you able to bring up that George Ward incident at the end?
What, the absolute wipeout?
Yeah, I want to see whether Ethan thinks this should be a grid penalty for the next race.
Uh-oh.
We'll get there. There's like a whole bunch of stuff in the log to
Oh,
go
this is
through.
the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I drove as best as I could this race with the hand that was given to me. I knew I was happy that I started fast, don't get me wrong, but with the launches that I had been practicing, I knew I was going to have it by lap 1, turn 1, if I started second or third. I'm just really looking forward to the next race now. I loved this combo. This was a great combo. So
Yeah,
thank you
I
very
think-
much, Connor.
You're welcome. I think the big thing was trying to create a little bit more sort of interest in racing for long periods of
Yeah.
time. That's why we went for Donington Park. That's why we also went for the shorter circuit, to try and introduce that a little bit. Also, I think you're right. GRs do make for great wheel-to-wheel, door-to-door racing, and obviously Donington
Yeah.
Park, probably one of the best British tracks on the calendar.
I think for my crash with Nico, I would have preferred if we had the Grand Prix layout. But beggars can't be choosers.
I know, if you had the Grand Prix layout and tyre barrier was there, you might have been put into that.
Yeah, very true. I actually had an instant with George myself actually. I think it was when he spun with Sam or had a collision
Yeah,
with Sam.
we did see that.
Yeah, I was on my brakes as much as he could. He was just in the middle of the track. I couldn't go anywhere. So yeah, actually that might have been what gave me the front end damage. You are very much right.
Yeah, it's coming into Redgate turn 1. I think there was a little bit of knocking going ahead of you. George got a little bit loose, and I think you just couldn't get on the brakes enough.
I think we're coming up on this highlight reel to where I think we need your
Oh.
opinion as well, Ethan.
Here we go.
That's you crawling across the line on 3 wheels. And
Lewis
then,
Hamilton style.
oh, is it not coming?
Oh, I see him in the background.
George just blows the chicane and goes into the back of another car.
Oh, oh no. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Um. Wow. Wow. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Ah,
that's
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 attempted
teetering
murder.
on the edge. Yeah. I mean, as a steward, I don't know. Disqualification and definitely a grid penalty.
Yep. Definitely one to talk about. Not sure where we're going to be racing next week. What sort of track would you like to see on the Gr86 calendar?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, this produced great racing. I feel like short circuits are great. Um, I feel like Virginia with the GR86s can be a very fun track.
Short version?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
also the full course is great.
Oh yeah, four course is good fun. Gr86s feel
Yeah,
like they're an absolute tow truck coming down the back straight though.
that's the great thing though, is you get some real
Slipstream
bumper to
battles.
bumper action. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um, uh, one more track suggestion. Oh, well, that I'd like to see.
let's hear it.
Um, would definitely be Alton Park. As much as I hate Alton Park, I feel like in the GR86s it would be great.
Interesting. Okay, I'll like I say, I'll come and have a chat with you in a minute. I'm just going to
Yep.
round up my stream, but thanks for coming and having a chat with us, and thanks for putting on a
Alright.
show.
Thank you very much. Take it easy. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Well, there you have it. That is Donington Park GR86s for today's Monday session. We will be going racing again next week in the GR86s. I think it's a good combo to stream and actually watch some good racing. Christopher Burkett, cheers for the follow. Welcome in. But yeah, that is the end of today's session. Feel free to drop me a follow. Come and say hello on all of my other channels as well. So we are on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. We also have a Discord. You'll find a Discord link for the Refined Motorsport Discord in the stream bio. And also come and check out the new website. Registrations for that are open as well. So it's refinemotorsport.com. You'll be able to pre-register for an account to get access to the upcoming leagues on there as well. But that's it for now. Got any final words, Jacob? Or
I think the Gr86 racing's been great. Definitely an equalizer in terms of your usual kind of I rating splits. A lot of the time, you find the lower I rating people will be driving Gr86s more, and the higher I rating people haven't driven them in a long time. So that actually kind of gives an advantage to some of the drivers in that lower I rating bracket, and you actually end up getting some good racing between them, all of them. So yeah, it's been good.
sure has. Cool. Right, until next week, I will leave you guys to it and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care all.